This is Lewis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store Forged Irish Stout. Delighted to be joined with Billy Nelson. Not been too long since we last caught up, but there has obviously been some big news for yourself. I suppose just before we touch on the big news, how are things, mate? How are things moving into the new year?
Oh, very good, mate. I'm buzzing with the gym that I've got, and I've got some super talented fighters here. Martin Bakole, Lewis Crocker, Luke Bibby, Sean Lazzarini's here, and we're still waiting on Sultan Zorbek coming back. So, and I've still got 2 or 3 novices that are all undefeated, and a couple of boys making their debut. So I'm very busy.
Absolutely. And just before we do touch on the news about Martin Bakole, one thing I did want to quickly touch on, we've obviously had a venue change in Belfast in a couple of weeks' time with Lewis Crocker. So it shows that the support is definitely going to be out there for him on January 27th.
So it's very unfortunate. I think it's something to do with the building not getting signed off the new building. And it would have been very close to the date of the fight or something like that. So quite rightly, they've moved it to another arena, albeit a small arena, but I think the atmosphere in there that night was amazing.
Absolutely.
The Irish, in my opinion, the Irish are probably the most knowledgeable people in boxing. You know, I've been there and on the B side and beat their champion convincingly, and they were very complimentary and appreciative of my fighters' efforts. And, you know, they appreciate good boxing, let's say.
Absolutely, definitely. And I suppose we'll get onto the big news that came out today. I suppose Martin Bakole's obviously been ordered in a final eliminator for the WBA World Title against Cassius Chaney. A big news for yourself, something that I suppose you've really been wanting it for a long time. Finally, now you've got the news that it's been ordered. How buzzing are you about it?
Oh, man. Martin's in the gym this morning, bouncing, absolutely bouncing. I wouldn't like to be Cassius Chaney whenever they meet. He's won maybe 2 fights away for fighting for a world title now. Nobody can stand him away now. There's a clear path to the world title now, and we're going to be sprinting down that path to grab the opportunity.
I was going to say, does it feel good now to have that clear path? Because obviously previously there's a bit of, you was high up in the WBA, but there was that uncertainty of, we don't really know what the next sort of path would be. But now you clearly have that with the Eliminator, that getting ordered. Is it good to have that clear path now?
With respect, people never knew what the path was, but we had a rough idea what was happening. So yeah, but like you say, delighted that nothing and nobody can stand in my way now. Once you win that final eliminator, the champion must fight you, or you fight another for the title.
And obviously, we do see Fury fighting Usyk. The WBA would probably be on the line twice there. How likely do you feel like the maybe not the fight, but how likely Martin winning would you like to see sort of the WBA have urgency to be ordered for a potential mandatory for the world title?
Well, I believe that when Tyson fights Alexander the second time, that's when the WBA will ask for the champion to fight Martin.
Yeah, definitely. And how quickly would you like to see this eliminator happen? I know you did say you want him out in March time, but how likely would you feel like you want to see this fight happen?
Well, I'd still like to be out in March. I'd like this fight to happen in March, ideally, because that would coincide with the first Usyk Fury fight, and if we fought a second time, just before or after the Fury Usyk second fight, and then it's a natural progression to fight the winner after that, or whoever else is next in the rankings, or whoever the WBA choose to fight Martin if Fury and Usyk decide not to fight Martin.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I did quickly want to touch on, I know it's sort of been speaking about before with Bakole and Boxer. I mean, me finding out this news, obviously saw it on Bakole's social media. Didn't really see anything from coming out from Boxer. With that being his promoter, is that a bit of a disappointing thing for you? Were you surprised by it, or?
I'm not surprised in the slightest, to be fair.
Yeah, That's good. I suppose
Disappointing. It is disappointing.
Yeah, definitely. That's fair enough. And I suppose one thing I wanted to touch on with you is, you've always had that belief in Martin that he will be a world champion. You still do believe he's world champion. With that being so close together now, how good does it feel like that he's coming to fruition and what you've been dreaming on or what you've been working towards is in the clear picture now?
Dreaming and working, ways, to be fair. It's, I mean, I've been fortunate enough to be involved in 20 world title fights. Winning 16, drawing 2, and losing to two excellent champions, one being Terence Crawford. But to win the world heavyweight title, the first Scotsman to do that, and probably ever. I mean, it's the first Scotsman ever to do it, and that and it would probably take many lifetimes for another one to win it. Yeah. So I would, and just for a selfish personal point of view, I'd love to win the world title. Yeah. And we won't win the world title because I do believe he's as good, if not better, than anybody that's out there.
And
people laughed at me. People laughed at me, and I know they did. Yeah. But they're not laughing now. They're not laughing now. See all the people that avoided us, all the people that said no to the fight. Mark my words. By the end of this year or beginning of next year, when we fight for the world title and win it, all those same people, that's just boxing and it's just this sport. They'll be chasing us now. They'll be chasing us. They'll be begging me for the fight against Martin when he wins the world title.
I was going to say that.
And then it's in our hands to say, no, it's okay.
Yeah.
Go and fight somebody that's got an 8. Martin Bell, very worthy world champion, great fighter. And I believe he'd want to be an active world champion.
Yeah, and I was going to say that as well. When yourself, and Martin have always sort of come under, criticism sometimes from people, and people maybe not taking you as seriously sometimes. So to see it now that it's all come to fruition, how good does it still sort of seem to prove all the doubters wrong in a way?
Oh, it's great. There's nothing better. There's nothing better than to inside stick 2 fingers up to the doubters, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because there's a whole lot of them out there. There's a whole lot of them out there. But there's people that have no got a clue about boxing. They don't know what I've seen. And I mean, I know my boxing. I've forgot more than a lot of people know. You know what I mean? I know boxing. I know a good fighter when I see one. I know a world-class fighter when I see one. And I've told people a long time ago, he's a world-class fighter. Yeah. And now they're eventually getting to see it. And believe me when I tell you, the better opponent, the better you'll see of him. Because he's done it. He's done it. People say, oh, you can't go with sparring, but you can go with sparring. When there's a big gulf between boxer A and boxer B in sparring, boxer B isn't going to fight boxer A if he's just took a beating with 20-ounce gloves and a headguard on.
Yeah.
Are you going to fight that man with 10-ounce gloves and no headguard on? Very, very unlikely. Yeah. And I've seen it happen a multitude of times.
Yeah. And you, as you say there, I think 20 world title fights you said you've been involved in, and you've been involved in a lot of guys from the world level. You mentioned about Martin Bakole being a heavyweight, but with Bakole, how does this compare to all the other sort of world level fighters that you've been involved with?
Well, listen, a world title fight is just another fight, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. As long as you train diligently, and stick to the ethos of the game plan, then everyone should be okay. And I mean, 16 wins out of 20 and 2 draws and 2 losses says that we're doing something right.
Yeah.
So we just stick to what we've done. Nothing changes, and hopefully we get the desired results, which we've been. I wouldn't. Lucky is no a word, because we work hard for it.
Yeah.
And as long as we keep getting the results, and listen, I think we could be in a position this time next year, in the middle of next year, Sultan Zorbek could be a world champion. Yeah. Lewis Crocker could be a world champion. You know what I mean? These are really, really exciting times in Scotland for Scottish boxing. And I'd love 2 things I'd love: win the world title and defend it in Kinshasa, and then bring that world title to Scotland. Mm-hmm. How good do that? For Scotland. I mean, I'm being a selfish Scotsman.
Yeah, of course. No, of course.
But the chances of that happening are slim to zero coming to Scotland.
Yeah.
Because it just doesn't happen. Even with Ricky Burns, we had to defend down in England a good few times, even though we sell the venues out up here.
Yeah, and for yourself, where you see Scottish boxing at the moment, and you see that the stable that you've got, and you talk about sort of on a selfish point of view that you want a bit sort of a world heavyweight title fight to Scotland. How does it feel for yourself and your gym and your stable to almost be in the professional ranks, spearheading the standard of boxing for Scotland, and everyone sort of following suit from yourself? Is that sort of a special thing for you, would you say?
Of course, because it brings a lot of kids to the gyms, and they want to aspire to be the next Martin Bakole or Lewis, even though Lewis is Irish. And he'll be doing the same over in Belfast. But kids want to be the next Lewis Crocker. You know, of course, it's fantastic for us. But first and foremost, we do what's best for my boxers and prepare for their fights accordingly.
Yeah, and just sort of a last one from me. I think like the streak that you're on at the moment, I don't think you've suffered a defeat as a coach since Michael Hunter, I believe, which was like about 3 years ago now.
5 years.
Oh yeah, of course it was. Yeah, 5 years. Sorry, mate. Sorry.
October 2018.
So from that time, has there been anything different that you learned from that now that has been the sort of the success or the method to being so successful in this past 5 years of not suffering a defeat?
I expect my fighters to win. They train hard, they work hard, they do what's asked of them. The defeat against Michael Hunter, you can't go back the way. You just have to go forward. Something happened prior to that fight. The best, maybe not the best, the fittest and the sharpest, in my opinion, that Martin Bakole's ever looked was prior to the Michael Hunter fight.
Wow.
But something happened 2 days before the fight, which affected Martin terribly. And he lost. He lost to the better man on the night. Yeah. And that's all it is. I believe if and when they fight again, because he's not in the rankings now, but if they were ever to fight again, I think Martin destroys him.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Billy,
but he's a fine fighter. Listen, he's a fine fighter. You know what I mean? Because people slag me, he'll destroy me. He gets stopped him, and he did get stopped him. It was a bad night, the worst night imaginable. I was distraught after the fight because I know how good Martin is. You know what I mean? And then people were mocking him and making wee videos up and that. But the same people can't take a wee bit of a sheckling back. Yeah. But again, that's boxing, isn't it?
Definitely. Billy, just want to say thank you for taking time to speak to me. Really, really good to catch up with you. And obviously, very, very buzzing for yourself and Martin to be having this news and finally a clear picture for yourself and the road to a world heavyweight title in 2024.
Thank you, mate. Thank you very much.
Top man. Thank you, mate. Cheers.
We need to think of a new advert for freebets.com.
Get your best betting offers from freebets.com.
Yeah, that'll do.
The following deals are now live.